When I was going through grade school in the 1950s, my father was a full-time farmer during the summertime, but during the winter time, he worked at a trucking company. And my father was dock foreman for, part of the day, and his shift started probably around 10 in the morning and ended at around 6 o'clock at night. So, one of my after-school activities, school got out at 3 o'clock, and as a 8 or 9-year-old boy out of school, I could walk the docks. There was heavy machinery around there. There were lifts and there was heavy things going on. And I had this secret world that I would go down to. And I especially liked going into the dispatch office where all the orders, for the trucks, where they were going, what they were carrying, what their schedule was. And that was all on a huge map. And it was interesting because I just kind of immersed myself that I was in touch with half the United States. Every night I would go down and, and I would ask what trucks are going where and what are they carrying. And it just took my mind and took it outside my local circumstances. I had this ability to turn almost anything that I encountered since I was very young into a very interesting learning experience, and especially when it came to organization and structure and process. If you think about the hundreds of trucks and the thousands of shipments and the 20 or so cities, there was a wonderful kind of complexity, but it all made sense. It was all a system. And I developed a lot of my love of structure and process from these childhood experiences where real things were happening in the world. And I kind of understood how these real things in the real world, and it all involved enormous work. What makes the world go around is that someone invented an interesting structure and system for getting work done, and that that it's very, very important to understand that nothing in the world actually happens unless there's organized work, that there's organized structure, that there's organized cooperation, there's selling, there's buying. The biggest thing I learned is that you could take that Norwalk truck line experience that I had when I was, in grade school, and that you could multiply this by millions and millions of times every day, and that's kind of how the world works. And so I have this enormous appreciation of the vast systems of competition and cooperation that every day is allowing, the conveniences that we have, the comforts that we have, the new capabilities that we acquire. All this has very, very organized structures and processes of work underneath. If your goal is to have greater revenues and profits and everything that your increased economic success can buy, do you have an understanding of the increased structure and processes of cooperation with other people? Do you have a real concept of the increased capabilities you're going to have to achieve those goals that are going to give you the greater revenue and profits?